Tonight I'm gonna feel alive, and no, I won't be acting It's everything you never had. It's been a lifetime feeling sad, feeling sorry for the things that might make you mad. But I'm back, who's back? Bitch, you ain't in a sorry. All you do is make people around you damn worry. I know it might sound just a little bit corny. Now I know where it's at. Don't even have a plan.
From the depths of Chicago, live and direct, it's the Rico No Suave Show, starring Rico No Suave, with co-host Valerie Malesio, featuring special guests every Saturday. And now, ladies and gentlemen, here is Rico No Suave. Ritmo.
Whoa, yeah, baby. That's all. It's your boy Rico No Suave here on a 1-2-1-2, ready to go with each and every one of you guys. And thank you guys so much for your support. But otra vez, ya tu sabes, mi gente, we are ready, we are here, and we are back. Today is, it's 15 de abril, man. Wow, we are here again. So we want to thank you guys so much for the support. Unfortunately, of course, we were supposed to be in Florida this weekend, but we are back here in Chicago. We're going to reschedule that as well, too. So thank you guys for your support and at least wishing us well that we're going to actually be there. But, of course, it did not happen. We will reschedule that, and we'll let you guys know exactly where we're going to be at. But you know who's also going to be there with us? My girl, Valerie Malesio. What's up, Valerie? What's going on?
Feliz sábado, mi gente.
Feliz sábado.
Today's actually the 16th. I think this whole...
Today's the 16th?
The whole cancellation.
Oh, man. I
threw
thought
us
it was the 15th. I'm
we
sorry, everybody.
were supposed to be on a plane on the 15th.
Man.
And we were supposed to be on the beach somewhere today.
It's the 16th. 16, man.
So we're just going to enjoy the salty waters from a distance today. And thankfully the sun is shining. So we do have some sunshine.
Yes.
We'll enjoy that.
Yeah, well, I have to say that sunshine in the Windy City is windy, right? That's all I got to say. In the Windy City, it's windy.
It's such a beautiful day out there today.
It is.
It really, really is.
It's finally getting there, everyone, in Chicagoland and around the world, everybody. Thank you guys so much for actually tuning in with us because, you know, I am super happy, super excited just to actually be back on the show. It's like a good stress relief. You know, we prepare so much for the show to give you guys great content, and
Absolutely.
So happy to be back. All right, so you know, we got something that we call breaking news, right? Breaking news. So we're going to actually get that started. Here we go. Downtown. So we talk about pray for Ukraine, right? We're praying for Ukraine that, you know, things get better and better. There's a lot of volunteers that's actually happening for the world to be able to help the Ukrainians. And I have to say, one of my good, you know, interns that works for us is actually from Ukraine, and he came in and blessed us with his presence last week. And I was so happy to actually have him here just to hear about what's going on as far as in Kyiv, right? In the city, right? And the city of Kyiv as far as where his parents are from. But we found out that his parents and his family and his loved ones are safe, they're sound, and they're good. But it also leaves as far as with, you know, prayers for the ones of the deceased. We know that a couple of his friends have actually passed away due to the bombing as well because of the Russia attack. I will say, you know, I will have to say that, you know, losing a loved one is very hard, and especially when it's involved with war.
That's a piece of it.
Yes.
But it's also, you know, I mean, put yourself for a moment in that situation where we are, we're sitting at this desk and we're okay.
Yeah.
Everybody over there is literally minute by minute living in fear.
Yes.
Of what's going to happen next.
Yes.
Where am I going to be tomorrow?
That's right.
And that's horrifying while still trying to maintain a life. Some people are having babies.
Yep.
Babies are still being born. Kids still need to be fed.
That's
People
true.
still need to eat and, do the day-to-day things. And you're doing all this while surrounded by all this chaos, war, and fear.
Yeah. And
my heart just really bleeds.
It hurts. It hurts a lot. Yeah, it does. It hurts a lot for a lot of, the people that actually had to flee their own city because of this Russian war. Now, of course, there's a lot of things that's been happening that I found out that at first I didn't know how many bodies were actually recovered in regards to this. And if I'm not mistaken, I did see 900 civilian bodies was actually recovered in Ukrainian. That's a lot. Even if it was 600, that's a lot.
I mean,
even if it was 5, that's a lot.
I mean, that's just a lot of unnecessary chaos.
Yes.
And
Suave.
It's just unnecessary. And so to all the volunteers and anybody who's rallied with all your efforts, we are so grateful to you.
Yes.
And our prayers are with the people of Ukraine. Mm-hmm. And we are hoping and praying for a better tomorrow. So,
there is a volunteer, and thank you for Patty Escobar for actually sending this over to me. So there is a link that we want to put up there, and it's actually help. I think it's RAZOM. Yes. So help. It's help RAZOM.com. So you can actually go there to actually volunteer to be able to help them out. And the cool thing about this one is that if you purchase products off of this link, it goes to Amazon, and then Amazon sends it directly to the Ukrainian. And I really like that. That's such a great filter, because you never think about it. You think you have to send it directly to the Ukraine to be able to make that happen. But, Amazon, big shout out to them for actually putting something together
and
to be able to do that. Yeah.
So everyday things that you're going to buy anyway.
Yes. For them to survive.
Why not, go ahead and use this website.
Yes.
And every little bit helps.
Yes. Yes. And it's such a great thing to be able to have. And I'm really, really hoping that, we get to the end of this war. Even there was an athlete that actually put up his flag. He was Morenito. He was actually, I think he was a Black Ukrainian, right? Mm-hmm. And he actually put up the flag, and he was here in the U.S. in regards to, saying, hey, it's not all about racism here.
Right.
It's all about, being good people, right? And also, being good people to be able to, proceed with life. But knowing that this war is actually going on, we pray that this war stops. Mm-hmm. We pray that Putin actually, really gets his head, out of himself. Right, and actually say,
"That's a very nice way to say it."
Please, please, let's move forward and leave the Ukrainians alone and go from there.
It's got to end. It's got to end.
It has to end. That's for sure. It definitely has to end. So thank you guys so much for tuning in and we continue to pray for Ukraine, and also let's pray for peace around the world as well. All right, everybody. So now, it's time to get it on. All right. So this special edition, because we don't have a guest today, we want your full participation. Yes. I do want to give a big shout out to people that is tuning in and watching into the show.
Yes.
Hello, Anna. Anna, actually one of our production crew is actually in Indiana. Hello, Anna.
Hello,
yes, we
Anna.
got some other people that's checking in as well too. John T for Free is checking in. What's up? Yes. Hello, Patty Escobar.
We've got Gabriel Rangel.
Eso,
Thank
Papa.
you for joining us.
Yes, Gabriel.
Primo Cruz. Yes, we see you. Thank you for letting us know who you are. He always comes in that incognito Facebook user.
Yeah, he don't want nobody to know where he's at. We want to make sure that, he keeps doing what he do. Ya tu sabes, Papa.
Thanks for joining us.
But thank you guys so much for joining us. So, let's get it on. So here is the subject of this episode. What do you think?
What do you think?
What do you think? Yeah, so what do you think?
What do you think?
Right. So I'm going to go through a series of, these are not memes or memes, right? These are a series of things that we want you to participate and tell us what you think about when it comes to this. So here's the first one. Fake friends. Once they stop talking to you, they start talking about you.
Ooh.
This is a good one. So, there is so many different ways of understanding which way to go about understanding what a fake friend is. And not a lot of people understand what a fake friend could be like until it happens to them. Or they're in denial of not really understanding why that person is actually there. Now, keep this in mind. You could be in a relationship with that friend. You could be in a certain, you could be working co-workers as a friend, right? Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden, fake friends. You talking about
me, Rico?
So let's talk about you, right? Let's talk about you. You talking about my mama, right? All right. So let's talk. So what do you get from that, Valerie, in regards to that quote?
I think that people are smart.
Mm-hmm.
And you obviously know if somebody was really good friends or around somebody for a lengthy period of time, they may know some things about that person. That's true. But if they're all of a sudden trashing somebody,
yes,
out of nowhere,
mm-hmm.
I think people are smart enough to see that there's some sort of angle in that. Because there's a difference between people just being upset and venting.
Sure.
And then you just come across people who just gossip so much.
Sure.
About everybody.
And I
think we know.
And
sometimes it's just the nature of the beast. That's how they engage in conversation.
Sure.
But I just, I think people are smart enough to know the difference when someone's ripping somebody's soul apart, versus saying, hey, I don't like that outfit they're wearing.
But how does fake people come about? How does that happen, right? What type of disease do they catch?
Disease.
And, what type of disease do fake people catch? And we want to know from you guys, what do you guys think about fake people, right? And we're not talking about mannequins, right? We're not talking about people that's in a mannequin in a store, right?
And what do you consider fake? Like, is having basic manners and saying hello and goodbye to people that you don't necessarily like, do you consider that fake?
So that's a different pace of where you're going with manners, right? That's later, right?
Niceties.
But manners, but fake friends, meaning someone that you've known for quite some time,
right,
that you've actually hung out with, that you guys actually had really good vibes together at one point in time. Life, technology changes over time, right? So fake people, fake friends.
I mean, we've all had that happen where you've trusted somebody.
Yes.
And they've, you felt that trust invaded. I think that's happened to to all of us at some point. How do you guys feel about that situation? I mean,
yes,
what point is it okay to engage in conversations about other people? I've met people, whether they'll start just kind of going to left field into some conversation that I really don't need to know about.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
So they'll come and talk to you.
Uh-huh. I know that you want to pull back and not, because some things you just don't want to know.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But I think there's a fine line between, discussing a situation and being invasive.
Yes.
Yes. There's a fine line. At what point? But what's that line, guys? How do you define that line? What's an open topic for discussion, mm-hmm, and what should really not be discussed?
Our politicians are a fake, perfect example now, how they trash now their friends. Beatrice Davis checking in with us. Jealousy is a part of being a fake friend. I agree because there's a disease, yes, of where things that actually changes, mm-hmm, in your life, and then all of a sudden we actually have some fakeness. Envy, jealousy, yes, becomes fake because at first they're smiling in your face. But have you ever felt it was so true that this person was going to be your friend forever, and then all of a sudden you get to a certain level where that person will just like dismiss you. Like, where the heck did they go? Like, what all of a sudden just happened? And they just leave. And they're like, yo, what happened? Like, what just went wrong? Like, how did you just automatically just jump from one to another without talking to me first about it? And then all of a sudden you take it upon their own hands. They put it into their own hands, right? So, that kind of, I wouldn't say that piece. Jealousy, yes, that's being fake. I had to say that because all that time, if you knew that the person was striving to be successful. It's
biased.
Right, it's
You're
biased.
never giving me honest opinion.
Yeah.
Because you're giving me information that is opportunistic to yourself.
Yeah.
Instead of what's best for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we all come across that. Jealousy is a natural human feeling, right?
Right.
It's just how we respond to that.
Right.
Don't let that take you over and turn you into a person that you don't want to be.
Right.
You choose who you want to be.
Right.
Something I always tell my kids, I'm a mom, is, would you be your friend? How are you behaving? Would you want to hang out with somebody like you?
True.
And that does give yourself some perspective. Like, wow, ooh, I probably shouldn't have said that the other day.
Well,
you know what I mean?
It depends on if you start
fundamentally
talking to
know?
yourself in a mirror and seeing if you really want to be yourself. I mean, that's a different story. If your kids start talking to each other in the mirror, like, "Mommy, I'm trying to get to know my friend right now, and it's me."
But
and
that's
true.
Lay
That's
some
true.
foundation. Fundamentally, we talk about relationships and how friendships, you need to treat people how they need to be treated.
True.
Not necessarily how you think they should be treated.
That's
you might
true.
not like somebody, but they still deserve a certain level of respect.
And I agree. I definitely agree. I mean, I think at one point in time, you realize that, hey, once that person becomes fake, you know that person is jealous of you, right? And then all of a sudden they want to be part of the mannequin challenge.
The mannequin challenge. But again, right. I think we as people, it took me a long time to understand the difference between nice people and kind people. They're not always the same thing. Nice people say hello and goodbye to you, but I meet people who aren't always so nice, but do really kind-hearted things. Maybe they donate, maybe they volunteer.
Sure.
They're just not always in a great mood all the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're not the same thing.
Yeah,
and I think a lot of times when we meet people, just because they're surface polite or they have manners, we assume the type of person they are.
True.
But that's not always who they are to the core.
I get you.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's an everyday
grumpy
life.
Family member that's just grumpy, but they always taking somebody in
all
or
day,
always
every
feeding
day.
the neighborhood.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
And they don't want to feed you. Right. Because you're part of the family and I'm comfortable here. Right.
You're privileged. What you mean? But yeah, so I guess it took me some really, meditating, if you will, on that difference of people that are just nice and some that are kind.
Tino's checking in, and also let's read some of the comments because we want to make sure that we got these comments squared away. Primo Cruz, let's talk about Tino. We hear you, man. We hear you. Depends on the person you are conversing with. I try to stay away from politics and religion unless I know the person, and even there, I hear you, Papa. I hear you, man. Beatrice, I'm sorry. Primo Cruz says, the way Rico describes what a fake friend is heartbreaking. It is. It is. It's very heartbreaking, and I have to tell you,
it is.
It's heartbreaking because sometimes you put your trust in someone, and then all of a sudden you start realizing as you get older that you start making progress. Because remember back in the day when you had 15 friends and y'all used to hang out, y'all used to go bowling, y'all used to go to the skating rink, y'all used to go to the arcades, y'all used to do things where us as young adults we actually used to go and do that. And then as time goes on, you start getting this job, you start focusing on your career, and you start getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Then all of a sudden, it's just
you don't have one friend.
You only got one friend.
One friend.
I got my best friend. Yeah. Thank you for being there for me. Right. We also have Elliot's checking in. What's up, Elliot? Elliot's checking in. He says people might try and make connections with as many other individuals as possible to feel a desire in their lives without having intentions of making any actual meaningful relationship. That is true.
Right.
That means that the fake person is just trying to get numbers instead of numbers with quality behind it, right? So, and I think that's
do you want quality or do you want quantity?
Right.
Sometimes you have just those two people in your life. Sometimes it's family too.
It is.
You know, and or it's not.
Yeah.
Blood related or love related is what
Right.
we like to say. And you have those two people in the corner. I think fundamentally it's just appreciation.
Sure.
Appreciation.
Sure.
And it is heart-wrenching. Like everything you said, it's true. When you think you have a friend, and then that person turns around and does these things that you didn't expect from them.
Oh, man, out the blue.
That's the key word, expectation.
Yes.
What are our expectations of friends?
Right.
Is this clearly defined?
Right.
You know what I mean?
John T. for free is actually saying maybe it depends on the purpose of the conversation. And it really does matter as far as the purpose of the conversation.
I agree.
We totally agree with you on that. I think, yes, Beatrice says, you know, fake friends are the ones that reach out to you only if they need something, never care about you to reach out until any other time. Yeah, they need a cheeseburger. And then fake friends make you feel bad, trying to lower your self-esteem. Yes, because they don't have nothing better to do, you know, in regards to that. And then, you know, Primo comes back and says, agree 100% with what Val says about jealousy. We must be in touch with our dark sides and keep that in check. Woo, that's deep.
It's true,
That's
though.
deep.
It's true.
That's deep.
So if someone says, I don't ever get jealous.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily believe that.
Yeah.
I think that these people have better control over jealousy, so they learn how to disregard that feeling.
Yeah.
Or ask yourself, do I really not like this person, or maybe am I a little bit jealous? The most honest you can be with yourself, the better you can gauge your own emotions.
Well, I think a lot of it comes with, you know, I think a lot of it, and Beatrice actually says it, since a fake friend is not invested in your well-being, they are more likely to be hurtful, for example, by disrespecting your boundaries.
Yes.
Woo!
Clearly defined boundaries.
Woo!
But that's also, that onus is also on us.
Yes.
To define those boundaries.
Well, sometimes you might define those boundaries, but people will still take and cross that line sometimes in regards to not really care.
Try,
yeah,
right.
exactly. And that's that boundary that they will cross. Mm-hmm. They can cross that boundary. It's about the circumstances when you get over that boundary.
Habitual line stepper?
Right, exactly. Right. Habitual line stepper. Right.
Habitual line stepper.
Tino says, you know, oh boy, he said, I've had that happen to me recently. Don't act like you support me when you make moves. You are really cool with me to report back to people. Think support, but you talk about you behind your back. See, you know, and
I can't get down with that.
Yeah, I can't get down with that either. Sonia Nethin is checking in. She says, what about narcissists?
Narcissists, they appear to be friends with everybody sometimes. Those are the people that maneuver. It's
Black
very
sheep in disguises.
strategic.
Yep, in sheep's clothing. Yep.
And I can always, what I've noticed, I should rephrase that. But what I've noticed is people that are kind of controlling and like to control those relationships.
Yes.
They're so engulfed and so opportunistic that they don't even know when to be offended.
Yeah.
You can't really offend those people.
Yeah, you know,
They have no boundaries of their own.
Because I think one thing is that they just have this style that we stay away from. Right? We just know when they're coming around, like, listen, don't listen to anything that person's saying, because that person just want either money, friendship, and hurtfulness, and just they don't want to be a disaster.
And you guys, this is a true statement. Like, Rico and I have had conversations with people that have tried to get involved.
Yes.
And it is real.
It's real.
Know? It's definitely real. You know, so but we try to like everybody, you know, and without judgment.
You try to please people, but sometimes people will pick out only what they want to hear, selective hearing, right? But also when they want to be selective, they can only select what the bad part about what you're talking about and forget every other thing that you said that's good, and they just want to talk about the bad piece. And no, that's not good. And that's where fake people come into play, because they be like, oh man, he does such well volunteering, but you know what? I caught him smelling bad when he got off the dance floor at one time. Y'all need to stay away from him, because on the dance floor, one moment, he smelled like onions, and it was like something's wrong, right?
And again,
and I'm like,
How judgmental are we? Like as a people, like how judgmental are you? Do you take somebody's full career of all these good things they did and judge them by one bad moment? Thing.
That's it.
You know, like
fake people, man. Fake people. All right, everybody. So that was the first quote. That was really good. So let's get to the next one.
I can't with you.
What do you think about Will Smith? What do you think about him now? What do you think about, after the whole smack incident? But this one is actually from a snapshot of a video of Jada Smith put up when she was talking about him and their marriage.
Right.
And he specifically said, hey, he has that look right now. He's like, hey, don't put our business on social media like this. And then she comes back and says, oh, well, see how we went to counseling and everything. You see how this ended up now? No, don't humiliate him like that.
Can you get him on camera doing that?
No, too late. Right, yeah.
Oh, well, you know what? Instagram Live got it. I wanted you guys to get the whole
Yeah, because, you think
I
about
love how
it,
men, they mock us, ladies.
Well, you should have saw her face. It looked just like that. Let's go to the next photo. Because the thing about it is that it's they call Will Smith as far as simping, right? And I don't think this is a simping piece. I just think that she's taking advantage of the situation of him being that nice guy and think that she can go ahead and just abuse him emotionally. And he knows that she knows that he's not going to do anything about it. He's just basically just being a good husband, a good guy. And he's going through this emotional trauma.
So you think that she's taking advantage, his kindness for weakness.
Yes.
And is capitalizing.
Yes.
Off of their situations to promote herself. And I'm saying that's what we're saying, right?
That's correct.
Okay, because what I got from that video, he pretty much made it clear, stop using me for clout. Now for a husband to tell his wife to stop clout chasing and using him, because I think he's a star.
Yeah.
She's a star too, but he's like a big star, you know what I mean? So she's kind of a littler star, on the scale. But, and they're in this relationship. And I think that as a husband, he does whatever he can to promote her. They're a team unit, right?
Yes.
Your success is my success.
Yes.
And whatever she does behind the scenes also contributes to his success. So at this point, if he's at the point where he's literally saying, stop it, I think at that point, she should respect their relationship and space and stop it.
See, the problem with
just stop.
Social media is that it's not for everybody's business to know about your personal income, relationship, unless it's kind of like positive. And you can also, give advice in regards to letting people know as far as what you're going through.
Right.
And that's okay, to be inspired others. But when you're putting it.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
No means no, right?
Right. Exactly.
So if he's saying this is too much.
Yep.
I need a mental break from all of this exposure. I think at that point, you should respect the space.
Yeah.
Instead of throwing out there, oh, well, we talked to Cal. You think we should contribute to who helped with our healing? Are you healed? Because it doesn't sound like you guys are very healed.
You guys are crazy in the comments. Tino says, I'm disappointed in Will Smith, but I can relate. It's tough because what he did humiliated a lot of people. Humiliated a lot of people. But I have done what he did, just not in front of the world. Tino, you crazy. Beatrice says, what's even worse, I'm going to summarize this up. She said, what even worse than the slap is when he actually said, leave my wife's name out of your MF mouth, right? And then that's worse than a slap. The slap was you can hear it from ever. I mean, you can hear, and they even put it into auto-tune now. I mean, you can. Well, yeah. You can actually. I'm
surprised that hasn't come out yet.
It's out already. I mean, they're savages. Internet is the savage point of people's lives when you actually put something out there like that. And I have to say that with that whole slap, You can hear it. You can hear that. I mean, the volume was up on that. And plus, he already had a lavalier mic on him. So when that slap hit, that gang was like, whoa, we heard that. And then, of course, coming afterwards, knowing that whole trauma thing, when he slapped Chris Rock, Jada Pinkett, they caught her on video laughing. You should have been mad still.
Well, yeah. I think we talked about this that day that we brought this up on the show. I was very surprised that she did not try to at least talk some sense. You watch your husband go and throw his whole career away.
Yeah.
I would think you would say, you know what, babe, it's all good. Don't do this.
Right.
He's not worth it.
Right.
Your reputation's not worth it.
Right.
You know, but instead she sat back and sent the soldier to do what he needed to do.
Right, right.
You know, and as a wife, I understand your husband defending you. Mm-hmm. I totally get that.
Yeah.
But also, as a wife, you just can't be letting your husband, you know, not that you're controlling.
Sure.
Watch my words here.
Yeah.
But, you know, at least offer that support. That's part of being in a relationship. If he's not in his right state of mind, you're supposed to be there to help reel him back in. When you're not in your right state of mind, he's supposed to help reel you back in.
That's right.
There was nobody had the level head at that moment.
Right.
So what does that say about what goes on at home or outside of that situation?
So, you know, it pays the cost to be the boss, you know, and I think what happens is that Will Smith is trying to be the boss, but he loves Jada so much that he lets her be the boss in regards to the emotion piece. And I think that's a problem when it comes to, you know, situations like this. And I think what happens is that if anybody that's professional would have never got on stage and have that much money and actually won an Oscar that night, should have never, ever took that piece. I would have dealt with that at home. I would have been like, listen, it wasn't the time for me to go up there and do what I had to do. I'm sorry that I laughed. It wasn't intentional. Let's go home and let's make up, right? I apologize for that, blah, blah, blah. But because he took it upon himself to actually get into that rage, that was a problem.
Yes.
So,
and Beatrice comes back to say he should have used the situation to bring positive attention to the disease.
Yep.
He missed his chance.
That's unfortunately.
You're right. He could have.
Yep.
He could have just, all right, I got you. Let me pocket that little jab that you threw.
Yep.
Because it's not like he doesn't have a platform.
That's right.
He has a huge platform.
And it's crazy because all of the times, and we're going to leave it, we're going to go to the next one, but going through his relationship, going through his marriage, and during the time as far as when the entanglement happened, you know, he actually had videos of him going through himself, like as looking at himself in the mirror, like you were saying. Look at yourself in the mirror and see if you can actually be your best friend. Because right then and there, the only thing was his best friend was that mirror. And that was him looking at himself saying, hey, excuse me, I'm the only person right now that can define me moving forward in regards to things that I'm doing. I know that I'm hurt, and we all go through it, right? I know that I'm hurt. I know that I'm going through a lot of stuff, but this is not the way to actually go. So, but you know, once again, we continue to pray for Will Smith, and hopefully Jada Pinkett will hopefully learn a lesson, maybe to be able to
for his
back
healing.
off.
The guy pretty much had a nervous breakdown in front of everybody on cameras, and I think that he needs to take some time for himself. She needs to stop exposing his every private moment.
That's correct.
And let him heal.
Right. Let him heal.
Let him heal.
All right. That was a good one. That was a good one. All right. So we're off to the next one. Here's the next one. Good manners sometimes means simply putting up with other people's bad manners. So, yeah, it's a good one. Good manners sometimes means simply putting up with other people's bad manners. So,
yes. Okay. So
I'll let you go with that one.
Good manners. You know, we don't want to navigate in the world correcting everybody as we move along. Although, you know, my mother would. You know, yes, please and thank you. She'll say it for you and let you know you missed your opportunity to say please and thank you.
Okay.
But I think now, because especially with the pandemic and people wearing masks,
sure,
you know, some of the fundamentals of manners are kind of being missed.
Okay.
Because, and I'm giving people the benefit of the doubt.
Sure.
You know, we used to say hello when you walk by, goodbye, you know, with the masks on, you know, you didn't really see much anyway. Because I've seen people just walk right by me, no excuse me, you know, just bulldozing past you, you know, because they're having this mask on their face and they feel like they're hidden.
Yes.
You're not hidden.
Right. Okay.
Say excuse me once in a while.
So do you think, so manners, for even before pre-pandemic, has always been people that had bad manners. Pre-pandemic, pandemic probably just brought it out more. But I think that pre-pandemic, that people, you will open up the door for someone and they don't say thank you and they just walk right in. I hate that. I hate also what grinds my gears about manners is when you are driving and then you let somebody over and they don't say thank you in their window.
Oh, they're like this?
Yeah, they just keep driving. Like they expect it to automatically say, you see, I'm trying to get over. Can I get in? Right? You know, and I'm like, listen,
let's
it's okay.
not talk about manners and driving because I feel like that's a subtext. Like that's a different style of manners. I always try to make eye contact. I always wave and say thank you. You know, to say, hey, but I'm not going to roll down my window and pop my head out and look the other way and say, thank you.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
It's a little trickier than basic manners.
Right,
you know what I mean?
Well, okay. So let's talk about, we got a comment that just came in. Mr. Tino says, we do nod when we walk by, right, Rico? I'm like, yeah, we do. Mask is no excuse. So, yeah, they do have a head, right? I mean, they got a head. You know, they got a forehead. You know, they can nod and be like, how's it going? Cool. I do feel from the positive aspects of things, when you make eye contact with someone and you walking past, I automatically say, hey, how's it going?
It's just an automatic response,
an automatic thing, right? And I think it's even better now because we were so crumped up in a house that it was like, hey, I feel like I want to talk to somebody. I want to talk to people. So I actually say, you know, hello to people.
So
you know,
you're
when
skipping down the street. Hi, hey, how you doing?
No, not like that because there's nobody around. But what I'm saying is that when I am actually, you know, like if I'm going to like supermercado or if I'm going to grocery store or something like that, you know, I'll say, hey, how's it going? Blah, blah, blah. Oh, hey, how are you? Blah, blah. Somebody might come into the elevator. We do a lot at, you know, by the hospital. It happens a lot where people are walking past each other because you're used to greeting people, right? And I think that's the manner and the feeling that you get. But the manners that people don't have is that when you open up the door for someone, they just walk in and they don't say thank you. I think that's just worse. Or even me growing up saying, yes, ma'am, yes, sir. Right? Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. I don't care how old you are. It doesn't matter. It's a way of respect of actually saying thank you. Like, yeah. So
saying yes, saying please, thank you, excuse me.
Yes.
Like those are fundamentals, but those were also grilled into, I know for me,
yes,
as a kid.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
You know, that my mother was on it.
Mm-hmm.
And mannerisms and how you know, speak to people and especially at the table, you know, dinner table.
Oh
my God. That was like the test. Every time we sat down and had a meal, it felt like a test.
I felt, you know, and sometimes like when I got punished by my dad, you know, it was hard. He said, you still come up here, you say hello. And it was the hardest thing for me to do because of the situation that I went through when I got punished. I didn't want to say anything to anybody. And I still had to walk past and say, hey, and then that was it. But I still had to respect that. And then let it be. Like I didn't say too much, but when I was punished, it wasn't a good thing.
Let me go to a comment here.
Okay.
So Primo says, I've been told that I'm too nice because I use my manners. Mm-hmm. It has become a sign of weakness. Primo, don't let anybody convince you of that nonsense.
Yeah.
It is not a weakness.
Please.
At all.
Not at all.
To have basic manners.
Uh-huh.
And trust me, people notice.
That's right.
They really, really do.
They
may not say it in your face, but like we were talking about earlier.
Yep.
When that person's not around, I'm like, dang, that person's rude as hell.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. They have a bad day or something today?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So please don't believe that.
I went to Costco once and the gentleman... tall guy, and he had his cart, and it was time for me, you know, to to start exiting, and he was. I said, no. He said he did like this, as if he was like, it was in a way where he was like, go ahead. And I was like, man, you know what? Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. He never said you're welcome. I'm like, he's having a bad day, right? Because you can tell because he didn't say, oh, no problem. You know, it's funny. But when I entered, the store, there was a lady that dropped something and she was fumbling with it, and I tried to use my cart to actually have it go into my cart, and she was like, oh my God, almost made a bucket. I was like, yeah. I'm glad I didn't run you over. She's like, thank you. I said, you're welcome, right? And it was the humor behind it, right? It was like, hey, I felt something here as well too. Beatrice actually says, oh, hell no. Manners show who you are. Sorry, everybody, but I had to say it like that.
B.
She's like, you
gotta love B.
She's like, oh, hell no. She's like, manners show who you are and how you show respect the other person. You can be kind and disagree with kindness. Of course,
we do it all day here.
To disagree.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
You can agree to disagree.
Absolutely.
I'm totally with you.
Totally agree with you, B, on that. And it is basic manners. Please, thank you.
Yes.
Excuse me.
Yep.
If you walk by, say excuse me.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much.
I mean, we had to announce ourselves walking into a room. I remember my mom would say, don't ever walk into a room without announcing yourself.
Yeah.
And when she meant like, hello, I'm entering, not like that, but just
Right.
saying hello, basic greeting.
Right. Right.
Say hello when you walk in, and at first glance, so not like every time you're in the house, but we knew that.
Right.
So we knew when we walked into the house, we said hello to everybody, so
it's just manners, man.
It sounds
and it's just
crazy
manners.
now, but I mean, like, that is basic manners.
So, which goes to the next slide. Let's go to this next photo. I said slide like I'm using PowerPoint. Okay. The hardest job kids face is learning good manners without seeing any. Oh,
this is another hot topic.
This is what we just talked about, and we can really skim on this one because this is basically what we're talking about, us as kids growing up and knowing how to have manners. Nowadays, kids may not have grown up that way, right? That may not have parents to be able to discipline them or even have a guardian to be able to show them the right way to do it. Influencers, people that's around them might not have that. Right, have that influence on them to be able to be that way until they come across someone to be able to teach them how to do so. I think kids, of course, by the days that we grown up versus to the kids that's now, don't discipline themselves, or their parents don't discipline them enough in order for that to be able to take.
We talked about this a little bit earlier, and I kind of used my kids as an example because, the struggle's real. Because, they play virtually now on the iPad. And I was explaining how I'm trying to teach my daughters, when you answer your iPad, just like with the phone, say hello.
Right.
Before you disconnect, hey, I'll call you later, or, I got to go. I have to eat dinner.
Yep.
Bye.
Yep.
And hang up.
Yep.
I catch these kids just disconnecting.
Yeah.
No goodbye, no nothing.
Wow.
Or if they call them and they can't talk at the moment, they're FaceTiming, they'll say, I can't talk right now. Or I'm in the car. And I would slow my daughter down, and I'm like, Cynthia, you answer hello. Hey, I can't talk right now. I'll try to call you back later. Goodbye. Like teaching the opening and the ending. I understand you're in a rush, but don't be rude. So I really try to take those as learning opportunities. You laugh, but my God.
You know what it reminds me of?
I'm like, these kids, some of them are just so rude. And it is because I'm constantly, it's an uphill battle, because I'm teaching her this, but some of the other kids aren't always so respectful. So they pick up the habits. So I'm just, struggle's real. It is. But manners matter.
I love watching CSI movies, and I like watching the police force. And how it reminds me of what you were talking about of when they say, hey, I need to see you now. Click. Hey, I don't care what happened, but I need to get that ASAP. Click. There's no manners there. I was like, I couldn't be able to work in that environment. I would have been mad every time. Like, bro, you could at least say bye, man.
Right.
Like, you could at least say, okay, I'll talk to you later. Right? Like, it's like, it's like a style of being in the police force of click. You know, and I'm like, maybe it's just small talk. John T. for Free actually says, yeah, it become a world of small talk and just pretending you understand what strangers say because of the mask.
The whole, yeah.
The wrinkles under my eyes. Yes.
John T. for Free all day. Yeah, sure.
Yes.
Sure. Absolutely. See you later. You have no idea what the conversation was.
Hey, so Tino comes back and says, do y'all think saying no problem instead of you're welcome is rude? No, I think that's good. I say, you know what? No problem. You good. It's how you say it. It's like, no problem.
So I use no problem. Absolutely no problem.
Yep.
But in some instances, one will rebut that using the term no problem insinuates that there was a problem attached. So it's just that keyword problem that you want to avoid in conversation.
Interesting, because
whether it is no problem or was a problem, sometimes people just hear that word and it's a trigger word.
I used to say, hey, no problem, you good. Like
you reinforce it, right?
I'll say, yeah, no problem, it's all good. Like somebody might, it depends on how they're saying it. Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, no problem, you good. Go right ahead. You know, and then somebody might just say, oh, I really need to get in front of the line. No problem, go right ahead. It seems like you got to go to the bathroom. Go ahead. And that's it, right? And it just But depends.
I've been in sales team meetings where they've asked not to use that word. Say no problem, because
I guess in the industry,
with a customer or with a person you're trying to say it's not a problem to, they're like, what do you mean no problem? So there was a problem? You know what I mean? Like It's just the word problem. But everyday use, I say no problem, but I do reinforce it with that's absolutely no problem.
All right. Let's go to the next one. What do you think about this?
I can't with you today, Rico.
What do you think about this? You know, there is a video going around, you know, with strong cats, right? And what do you guys think about this? I don't
that real?
That one, there is a strong cat. I should have put the other one up, but I used this one because I've seen this one that just made me laugh. And I'm like, man, I don't even want to fight this cat. I'm like, this cat looks too strong for me. Like, he'll take out my kneecaps, right? I'm like, it really depends. You know, it really depends. So
is that a real cat though, or is that?
It's a real cat. It's a real cat, but the Photoshop, I think the arms are Photoshop. But there is another cat that's out there that was actually on either TikTok or something like that. But it was kind of like, hey, you know, walking down with this owner, and then the other cat was like looking at him, they're looking like, what is that?
No, I'm thinking, did this owner give this cat like steroids or something? Yeah. You know, what is really going on in this poor pet's house?
Yeah, you know, I have to say that, you know, looking at this cat,
I don't think you can get like that from Tender Vittles. Is that even around anymore, Tender Vittles?
I don't even know. Oh, Tender Vittles. Oh, wow, you went way back over Tender Vittles. Yeah, I don't know. They might put some spinach in that. Right. I don't know. But yeah, if you guys let me know what you guys think about that cat. You know, I had to break that up real quick because I know you guys are like, man, it's so sad around here. Then I had to throw the cat in there and say, listen, I'm stronger than all of you, right? He said, Primo says, I'm weirded the heck out with this cat. Don't ever want to see one.
Right? Like, where did it come from? Is that what our future looks like? That's what I'm thinking.
These cats are out here, they getting crazy, boy. The pandemic, they got them all struggling. They got this.
Tino says pit bull workouts.
Oh my God! Hey,
right?
did the cat have a phone? Can you put that cat back up for me real quick?
We're not done with the cat.
Right, hold on. Is there a phone? There's a phone on the side of the cat.
Oh my goodness! He's like, let me drop my phone real quick. So Beatrice says, my definition: I'm ready to kick your ass. He does look like that. If he had a thought bubble coming out of his head, that's what we're missing. Beatrice, that's his thought bubble.
Yeah, that's his thought bubble, right? Get my food now or I'll slap you.
Deboed all day.
What you got on my cornbread,
right? What you got on my bowl of milk?
Right. Man, when the milkman at? I'm trying to get my milk on here. Where the milkman at?
Can you imagine delivering mail to a house and seeing that cat?
Remember how the old school when the milkman used to come by and actually drop off milk back in the day? Can you imagine coming up to the cat like he comes out the door, you like, thank you, brother.
Is this great?
Right. Thank you, sir.
This
I appreciate that.
Milk, right?
Right.
We ain't working with 2%. No skim,
which bottle is the 2%? Right. All right, everybody. Here's the next one. All right. So this quote says, people who have never dealt with depression think it's just being sad or being in a bad mood. That's not what depression is for me. It's falling into a state of grayness and numbness. You know, I have to say that, you know, with this one is depression is hard. You know, depression is getting into what, you know, I want to say Coach Donnie so bad, but Giordani McCoy says is that getting into that emotional zone. Because we go through that, right? When it comes to that emotional zone, we get into that level.
Right. There's a time when you're healing, everybody feels sad.
Yeah.
But when that sadness starts to be the majority.
Yes.
You know, because a lot of people, when they're depressed, they don't even realize they're depressed.
True.
Their days start to become jumbled. You know?
Yeah.
Depression is, they say depression is rage turned inward.
Mm-hmm.
So you hear somebody screaming and hollering when they have rage, right?
Right.
So depression is that rage just inside of you. You're screaming inside.
Right.
For help.
That's true.
So I think, especially coming out of this pandemic, you know, people are realizing, you know, the brighter days are coming, you know, but depression is real. And people need to take better care of themselves.
Yes.
And be kinder to themselves. Remember when we said about friendship?
Yep.
You know, what kind of friend are you? Would you want to be your friend?
That's correct.
You have to be your best friend.
Mm-hmm.
Kind to yourself.
That's correct.
First.
That's right.
You know, so depression is definitely real. It's out there. Situations like, we were talking about Will and Jada. Mm-hmm. It looks like he may be dealing with some of those issues.
I think it's
as well.
I think a lot of it comes with stress, emotional stress. And one of the guys on the memes, I don't know if you guys ever seen this, but it's this Asian guy. He comes out when you're actually crying, or this person might say something that might be like, what is that? And he comes out and says, emotional damage. And it's like, it's so funny the way he says it. And it's like, it's funny, but it's true because your emotional system is damaged.
It is.
Right. And when you talk about depression, you talk about, I take it deeper than that, just saying, hey, I'm just having a bad day. I think of it as suicidal.
Well, depression, I definitely is not having a bad day. A bad moment does not make a bad life.
Right.
Depression, from what I've seen, it looks different in
it does.
People. Everybody has their own version of depression, rock bottom.
That's right. That's
you know,
right.
I know I had a couple girlfriends that every day, makeup, hair, dress to the nines. You know,
and self-esteem.
You know, that's just what they love to do that for themselves. For them, that may look like just a couple days not wearing their makeup. They didn't want to get up, or, you know, the struggle is different.
Right.
You know, it's not always going to be as apparent as that person, you know, in the dark room with, you know, food bags around them. And that happens too. Yep. But it doesn't always appear that way. So there really is not a stereotype on that.
Sure.
Because it looks differently in people. You know what I mean? In different ways.
Sure. And I think it's really like you hit all categories of loving yourself and understanding yourself. If you're trying to become fit, or if you're overweight and you're depressed because you love food and you cannot stop eating, and you're having a hard time getting into a dietary plan where, not saying that every heavy-set person is obese or had that disease of obesity, right?
Or depression.
Or depression as well, too. But sometimes we might get depressed and we might say, hey, I'm going to eat me, 100 Snickers tonight because I just feel depressed because I don't feel good. And you might come home and you might eat 2 of them and it might make you feel good.
Right.
But that's that emotional zone that you have to get yourself out of to be able to make that happen.
Understanding the difference, because,
of course.
Manic depression, clinical depression,
yes,
and being upset about something
that's
are
correct.
not the same things.
That's right.
Everybody, is going to go through challenges. You're going to have disappointments in life. You're going to have happiness in life. Without one contrast, you can't really experience the other.
Yep.
Without happiness, you don't know sadness. Without sadness, you can't experience true happiness.
That's true.
So it's understanding at what point is that sadness and that depression beyond pulling yourself out.
Yeah.
That's when you need to use your tools and get help. There's so much help out there now.
Yeah.
You don't have to do it by yourself. So if anybody's in that situation, dial the numbers. Or if you know people in that situation,
look on YouTube. There's a lot of inspiring.
Check in on your
too.
friends. Check in on your family.
Yep.
Do the check-ins, and just make sure people are okay.
Check it out. All right, here's the next one. Life is not a competition. Life is about helping and inspiring others so we can reach our potential. I like this one, but
this is a great
I'm
quote.
gonna flip it though, because life is not about competition, but there's always people that's in competing against you. As we always talk about, we compete against each other, or we compete within ourselves.
Yeah, competing with yourself.
Right, within yourselves, right? But then at the same time too, you have the competition of people on the outside looking in to see exactly what you have, to try to do what you do, to compete against you with your own medicine.
Right. And when I see this, I think about leadership.
Yep.
A good leader will lead you,
Uh-huh.
but a great leader will teach you how to lead.
Correct.
For future leading.
That's right.
Those people will see a potential in somebody that you may not always see in yourself, like coaches.
Yep.
And they bring out the best in you. They're not afraid to inspire you to your fullest growth and development potential.
Yeah.
Instead of capping you off and saying, you do what I tell you. That's it.
Yep.
No, they inspire you to be the best that you can be.
Mm-hmm.
That's what great leaders do.
That's true. That's a good one. I like that one. All right, what else we got? We have another one. Let's see what we got here. Respect your haters. They are the only ones who think you are better than them. Yeah, and I think that's come with the competition piece. And I kind of want to, say that haters are closer to you than you think. Closer, they're the ones that copycat, but they're also the one that's jealousy. We kind of talked about that as well. Those are the ones that don't have the manners. Right? They don't.
Those are just
respect
people
you.
that can't control their envy and jealousy.
Right.
And it's okay to look at people and say, wow, they inspire me.
Yes. Yes.
Don't want what they have. Want something equally fabulous for yourself.
That's right.
Because everybody's talents are different.
That's correct.
What it looks just like we talk about relationships, right?
Mm-hmm.
Women or men will look at somebody's wife or someone's husband and say, wow, I want them. I want that.
True.
That person's not going to be that same way with you.
That's
because
right.
you're different people.
Exactly.
That's the same thing. Relationships with business.
You just hating on your own relationship.
Right.
That's the problem.
just
you hating on your own relationship
grow
from
and
that
develop
standpoint.
your own.
Yes.
Because it will be equally as great and you'll feel equally fabulous rather than trying to, steal from someone else's yard.
Yeah. Yeah. John T. for
Just
Free
a thought.
actually says, from before, he says with the competition, I think life is a competition. It's just that we could be on the same team. That's cool too.
I'm sorry to mean to laugh. Primo, is that you? You didn't sign your name.
Yeah, that's
He
him.
said, nah, screw the haters. They have no room in my life.
I'm with you, man. I'm with you, Papa, but you need them, though.
They're going to be there, though.
You need them. You need them for them to be able to
question
share
is,
your content.
How do you deal with them? You know what I mean?
Only if they come directly at you.
If
they come directly at you, what you gonna do, Val? What you gonna do, Valerie? I mean, if they come up to you and say, I just hate everything you do, right? And you'd be like, well, what do you do?
I'm trying to keep my on-air persona positive right now, but that's a conversation we can have offline.
Oh, okay. So that's what you would tell them, right? Like, listen, we're in a club right now, and I know that you don't hate what I do. We can go outside and we can talk about that.
It depends on the state of mind I am when that situation is approached with that.
Wow.
Because it could go a lot of different ways.
Let me know if that ever happens to
I would
you.
like
So I would like to know
that
what
I'm
you
the
did.
best person that I would be in, but I might have not shown up as my better self that day, and you might have caught me on a bad day.
True.
You know what I mean?
But that's where the haters come out to really show you, and they're not really criticizing. They criticizing you for them to be able to know that you're not doing your best.
You will always know a hater because they spend more time
Hating
on somebody, other people, than speaking on what they're doing.
That's right.
So, and everybody, there's room for everybody, right?
Always.
You don't need haters, but they are there. I'm keeping my distance as much as I can.
That's right.
And that's all you can do, Primo. People want to be like you. You're very talented. I'm sure that you feel that energy from certain people out there.
Hey, you probably just hit their eardrums the wrong way.
Just
That's what it was. You hit that note, Papa. You hit that note. You hit them. And you probably had
what you doing?
You probably had a scoop of Skippy in your tongue, and you probably hit the note the wrong way, and your tongue stuck to the top of your mouth, Papa. You know.
Juan, hey, look who joined us. Juan Rivera.
Towards the end of the show.
Speaking about haters, I'm sure Juan's had a couple of encounters with haters as well.
Yeah.
There's always somebody out there who's gonna want what you have and admire you. And maybe we sometimes misconstrue that word hater because people admiring, being inspired by you, and envying you doesn't always have to be bad. It crosses the line of hate when they try to sabotage what you have because they don't have it.
Yeah.
To me, that's the difference.
Yeah. All right, last comment for the day before we get out of here, everybody. It's 1 o'clock already. Tino says, I had to ask a few people, if I am relevant, why are you talking about me? That's all I'm asking, but keep talking because that's how I know I'm staying relevant. That's true. I mean, well, you want them to keep talking about you, Hey, tell them it's off the wall, baby. Tell them it's off the wall, right? And then, when that happens, it's just keep them relevant. You got silent haters, and then you got haters that will come and tell you as far as everything that you're doing wrong because they just don't want to see you do anything right.
What's a silent hater?
Silent haters just the ones that, talks behind your back,
okay.
But also the ones that you don't know that they're talking behind your back, and they got a group of people that just like a book club, and they want to talk about you. They sit around, they sit in each chair. Who can we hate on today? Kind of like what Dave Chappelle did when he said, hey, and I'm just hating on everybody. All right, everybody.
The Haters Book Club. I like that.
We got to get to our social media, everyone. So our social media, we want to make sure you guys continue to follow. We hope that you guys had a great time as far as with us. So here's the first one. www.riconosuaveshow.com is where you'll find all of our content.
Yes.
If you missed this video, make sure you go back and rewind, and actually it will be up on maybe tonight or tomorrow. So make sure you go back and check us out. We got a lot of photos and all that
Lots
great
of good stuff there.
Here's the next one. Boom. At Rico No Suave Show Instagram, right? So make sure you please, everybody, go and like that page, right? Like us on Instagram. If you haven't liked us on Instagram, do it now. Make sure you like us and follow us on Instagram.
Give us a little heart.
Yes, thank you. All right, here's the next one. Facebook, Rico No Suave Show. Yes, Rico No Suave Show. This is where you like.
Love.
All day, every day, like what she said. All right, here's the next one. All of my YouTubers, baby. Yes, Rico No Suave Show. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're continuously growing our YouTube channel there. And last but not least, we have our Mixcloud. Mixcloud.com/Rico No Suave Show, where this will turn into a podcast piece where you can actually listen to just the audio if you wish, or if you like the whole visual, yes, it will be on our website. We do want to say Happy Easter.
Happy Easter.
Happy Easter to each and every one of you that do celebrate Easter, right? Or just say Happy Holiday, right?
Happy holidays.
Yep. So we want to thank you guys so much. We're blessed to actually have you on the show. We're also even blessed that you actually share our content, right? So hopefully continue to share our content, and let's keep the ball rolling. Everyone, we want to thank you guys so much.
Thank you
for actually being on there. Issei, thank you so much. Hello.
Yes. Rhonda, thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Tino. Thank you for saying yes, Rhonda. Yes, we'll be out there in 2 weeks. So yes, we'll be out there in Texas in 2 weeks for another great show. And yes, thank you, Tino, so much for the opportunity of you giving us a compliment. I want to say thank you. We have good manners here. That's what we have.
Good manners.
Yes. All right, everybody, we got to get out of here. We want to thank everybody, especially our production assistants, for rocking it out with us as well, too, today. Thank you guys so much. Hey, we'll see you next week as we end off the show just like this.